warning, the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Shut up. I like doing that.
Hi, guys.
Hey, we're early.
Hello. Sorry about being early.
We have a long one tonight, and then we also have stuff to do afterwards. So
Beast and Jugs might carry the rest of this.
Yeah. I have a handlebar mustache. This is coming in nice. Look at this. This is super nice. Tim, what's up? Tom, look at my handlebar.
Tom, what's up?
Look at this. This is coming in super nice.
Mikey, Iris, what's up?
Oh, Iris is new. Hello, Iris.
Hello, hello.
Oh, yeah, we're early tonight. This is gonna be a long one. Yep. Freaking.
So.
Scorecard killer. I have.
You okay there?
I stuttered for a second. It's the awesome handlebar mustache.
Totally.
Yep.
Hey guys, share out please. Hey Ashley, what's up? What's up? All right, guys, let's get into this. So, hold on. Can't put the notes over Frank's face. He has to stare at himself.
I like staring at myself. I don't mind the notes being over my face.
Hey Sykes, what's up?
What's up, Sykes? Are you wearing patchouli?
No. I have no perfume on. You okay there? I have Old Spice deodorant on. So if there's patchouli in that, then
there's patchouli and Old Spice deodorant. I just smelled it, and I think it's the one I'm wearing right now.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mikey.
All right. So, Randy Stephen Kraft, born March 19th, 1945, is an American serial killer, more commonly known as the Scorecard Killer, or the Southern California Strangler. They also call him the Freeway Killer, but it's not the same.
No, there's actually been several freeway killers.
Yeah.
And they all started in the 70s and they go into the 80s. Yay! Thank you.
Hey, Genevieve!
Hi, Genevieve!
Hey, Kisa!
Wait, am I Stud Muffin Sugar? Is it the handlebar mustache?
Tree stalker.
I'm getting like... I'm the tree stalker?
I don't know.
I hope I am. Oh, it's Sykes! Oh, sorry. I forgot. There's a lot of freeway serial killers. Try saying that 3 times fast. That's actually, they all kind of came together around the same time in the 70s in California. They stalked the I-5 freeway mostly. Kraft was different. He didn't stalk the I-5 freeway, but we'll get into the freeways that he did go through. A lot of places from her hometown of Whittier.
No, not Whittier.
Was it Whittier or Anaheim? Sorry.
Not at all. Anaheim.
Anaheim, yeah. Right, Anaheim.
I'm from Anaheim, babe.
There goes.
All right, so, okay, wrong location.
Yeah, but there's a big shipment of cocaine coming in to Whittier, California.
I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah. How many serial killers had a handlebar mustache?
I'm sure there's a few.
Well, actually, what's his face?
Exactly,
H.H.
the
Holmes?
Mighty Ducks.
H.H. Holmes. He did.
And for the record, that's my shirt. And we got it from FYE before it shut down.
Yay, thank you, Sykes. H.H. Holmes had a handlebar mustache, and I want to say, who was the gray man again? The one who killed from the 30s. Albert Fish. He had a handlebar mustache too, I think.
So let's get started. Hey, Otis!
Otis!
What's up? No, keep drinking that.
Oh! We gotta show this off. I found this beer. Well, we found it a while ago, but then
I was we've already shown it off on our show.
I know, but then I refound it again. Look at this.
The cuteness will cut you to pieces. Bunny with a chainsaw. All right. Okay, let's do this.
We're doing this.
This is long. This is a long one. So Kraft became known as the Scorecard Killer because when he got arrested, they discovered a coded list containing cryptic references to his victims, some of which were never figured out. And we're actually going to get into that at one point here.
Hi, Kisa.
I said hi to her already.
I said hi too. I know.
So his early life.
They found his scorecard in an unlikely place. Actually, it was very ingenious where he actually kept it.
Okay, he kept it.
Where he kept it.
And
we kept it.
Come on. You said she, just like I did. This is going to be a long one.
That's what she said.
So Randy Stephen Kraft was born in Long Beach, March 19th, 1945. He was the fourth child and only son to Opal Lee and Harold Herbert Kraft. Kraft's parents had moved to California from Wyoming at the outbreak of World War II. His father worked as a production worker, and his mother was a sewing machine operator. The Kraft family they lived pretty modestly. His mother undertook a succession of jobs to supplement her husband's salary, but Opal Kraft always found time for her children, whereas in contrast, Kraft's dad seldom attended any social gatherings with them, and was later described as being very distant.
You want to hear something funny that we have in common? I have in common with Kraft?
Huh.
My father moved out here. Well, he was made in Missouri, but they moved out here, and he was born in California. My family moved to California at the outbreak of World War II, too.
But not from Wyoming.
No, they're not from Wyoming. We are from Missouri and Arkansas.
Yeah.
So, I just thought it was a cool little tidbit. Hi, Calvin.
Hey.
Sewing machines operators were needed when sewing machines... What?
Needed to call each other.
Oh! Yeah.
Natalie! What's up? Calvin, how's it going?
Hi, Calvin.
All right, so in 1948, the Kraft family moved from Long Beach to Midway City, which is in Orange County. Their home was small, wood framed. It was the Women's Army Corps dormitory on Beach Boulevard. And his father renovated it into a 3-bedroom house. What?
Cheese family.
Hi.
Lives
Hi.
with us. Hi.
Kraft cheese. Wait, come back.
Yeah.
I don't know what Otis is pointing at, but looks like himself. So,
right.
Adolescence and graduation. By adolescence, Kraft had taken a keen interest in politics, becoming a staunch Republican with aspirations of becoming a U.S. Senator. Shortly after his enrollment at Westminster High School, he and 2 close friends founded the Westminster World Affairs Club at Westminster High School. Kraft was again regarded as a pleasant, bright student who regularly achieved A's. What's up, Tyler?
Oh.
Why don't I see him,
Where's
though?
Tyler at? I don't see him.
Hey!
Hi, Tyler.
What, you said the Crab family?
I'm actually...
The
I'm
Kraft?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so used to seeing Tyler come in as scurry face. I didn't even see it this time.
I was like, what? So, let's see. He was also known to occasionally date girls, although some classmates and teachers later said that they had suspected that he was homosexual.
Well, it was at this time...
Which, by the way, does come into play.
It does come into play here majorly. At this time, he was going out... Oh, we're out of focus.
Whatever.
Moved. At this time, he was going out and like
It'll fix it sooner or later.
It's not fixing. What the hell? Okay.
Well, everything died. Okay, it's bad. Oh.
There we go. At this time, he was going out and he was basically with his guys, and they were like he was catcalling girls just to do it, but he was not interested in girls in any way, shape, or form. I want to say it was right around this time where he did have his first experience with a guy.
Hey.
I think.
Okay, you're getting way ahead of this.
Sorry.
So, Kraft later stated that he had known from his days in high school that he was gay. He initially kept his sexual orientation a secret. On June 13th, 1963, he graduated 10th out of a class of 390 pupils. That fall, he enrolled in Claremont Men's College in Claremont, California, and he pursued a Bachelor of Arts in Economics.
Wait, he went to the men's college and pursued a bachelor?
I like blurry face. Wow. learning about the Kraft family.
Right? I don't know what it is. Ever since we put this backdrop up, it's cool. I like the black.
I
'Cause
tell him
everything
that we need
pops.
to change it because it never did that with the other one.
It didn't, but I just got tired of the. I guess we can go back to the Kraken.
Nothing wrong with it. All right. So shortly after his enrollment at Claremont Men's College, which is now called Claremont McKenna College.
Because I'm kidding. It's not because of Kraft.
Kraft enrolled in Claremont Reserve Officers Training Corps and regularly attended demonstrations in support of the Vietnam War in 1964 for the election of the Republican presidential candidate Barry Goldwater.
You gotta bring that up.
Nice, Mikey.
Nice, Mikey. Thanks. Ashley, I want a motorboat, Liz.
Woo! Okay.
Titties! Alright, back on subject here.
Thank you. So, we'll get to some of the comments in a little bit, but keep commenting. So, Kraft later declared these actions were merely a mimic of his parents' political views and not his own, describing his second year at Claremont as being when he abandoned the last gasp of his conservative ideology. The same year, Kraft entered his first known homosexual relationship. In 1964, Kraft began working as a bartender at a local lounge in Garden Grove that catered to gay clientele. He was also known to regularly travel to Laguna Beach and Huntington Beach for casual sex with hustlers. We're going to get to a really famous bar that he went to quite a bit that I used to go to, and it just closed down like a couple years ago now, called Ripples. It was a gay bar that was there since the early 70s. Smelled like Lou Dog inside the van. So, in 1966... Oh, excuse me, I missed a part of my notes. In an apparent effort to announce his sexuality to his parents, he took a succession of male friends to meet his family in the years that he was enrolled in Claremont. Initially, Kraft's parents and sisters were oblivious to the fact that he was gay. Eventually, they picked up on it.
It's not nice what his sisters and all
Yeah.
of them did to him, though.
Not at all.
Nope.
It's not okay. So, in 66, Kraft was arrested and charged with lewd conduct
Oh, does he have notes?
after propositioning an undercover policeman in Huntington Beach. Which, by the way, that's where we're going next week, is Huntington Beach.
Aw, that policeman was undercover.
As he had no previous criminal record, no charges were filed.
I didn't
And
know
the following year, he developed a radical shift in political beliefs, becoming an ardent supporter of the left-wing politics, and eventually registered as a Democrat in 1967.
It was mostly about the extremes and stuff like that. It was all about basically his narcissism and stuff like that. It really didn't have anything to do with politics.
Well, yeah.
He says it was, I went along with my parents on this, but really, it was just him. So.
The same year he registered as a Democrat, Kraft became a party organizer, campaigning tirelessly for the election of Robert F. Kennedy, and receiving a personal letter from the senator, thanking him for his efforts. By his senior year, he had become a lackadaisical student, drinking, doing drugs, regularly
Became a hippie.
attending all-night poker sessions with other students.
The
The lack of commitment to his studies in his final year resulted in him failing to graduate from Claremont.
We're also going to get to a point here where we're talking about the service here. He was at the time, too, he kept deferring his draft notice. So he could, I think
I grew up in Huntington Beach.
y'all go to where a lot of serial killers. We live in California.
There's not really a place to go that hasn't.
There's
had
a
serial
lot of
killers.
murders in California. If you've ever seen the movie California with a K, there's a reason why it's that way. It's cool. It's a cool movie. Love that movie. That's
Jesus, Frank.
It's actually my favorite movie of all time, but Mokum Games with Students.
Hey, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny. All right.
Okay, so Air Force. 4 months after his graduating from college, which he finally did, a year after he was supposed to, by the way, he joined the Air Force. He was sent to basic training in Texas before being stationed at Edwards Air Force Base in SoCal.
Which is only 2 hours east of here. Yes.
Where Frank likes to interrupt me and make me lose my spot.
Oh, you can see me.
I can see you. So, at Edwards Air Force Base, he supervised the painting of test planes. In his service with the Air Force, he rose in the rank to airman first class and supervisor manager, which, okay.
Yeah.
The same
Whatever
year Kraft
supervisor manager
became
is
an airman first class, he disclosed to his family that he was gay. In a letter he wrote to a friend, Kraft described his father as having flown into a rage when he told him, whereas he described his mother as being more understanding, if somewhat disapproving. His family ultimately accepted his sexuality, and he remained in close contact with his parents and siblings, although his siblings had began to distance themselves from him after he had announced that he was gay.
It wasn't just his dad really went after him though at this time. They're not saying this in our notes that we found. His dad really went after him, and then for his he finally, after I think about a few months after this, he was completely open even with the military at the time. And at the time, if you were gay in the military, you were kicked out. So he went up to his commanding officer and straight up told him, "I'm gay," and he didn't. Well, it's not a dishonorable discharge. What's the other one?
It's not honorable.
No, it's basically it's just a discharge, but he gets no pension, no nothing out of it.
Actually, so don't ask, don't tell is when you do get a dishonorable discharge. Actually, so
well, everything I looked into this, he didn't get a dishonorable discharge, but it wasn't.
Well, so on July 26, 1969, he received a general discharge from the Air Force after announcing his sexuality to his superiors. The discharge was officially listed as being on medical grounds, which is probably like a Chapter 2 or something, administrative discharge. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
What's up? By the way, if you guys don't know who October Noir is, go check them out.
Oh! Hi, Doug!
Wow, that was kind of a blonde moment.
I'm sorry.
So... God damn it. On July 26, 1969, after he received his general discharge from the Air Force. The discharge was officially listed as medical, which is probably a Chapter 2. He sought legal advice from an attorney in an attempt to challenge the grounds regarding his discharge from the Air Force. The Air Force, however, refused to change the status of his discharge. Following his military discharge, he moved back in with his parents and worked as a bartender. So, that actually comes into play a little bit later, because one of the many, many murders has a lot to do with him being a bartender. So, his first known sexual assault, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
you're fine.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So, March of 1970, not 2070, because that doesn't exist yet. Kraft encountered a 13-year-old Westminster young man named Joseph Gerald Fancher in Huntington Beach. Fancher explained to Kraft that he had run away from home that day. In response, Kraft invited him to accompany him to his apartment with the promises that he could live with him. He agreed and accompanied him to his place in Belmont Shores, where he was drugged and assaulted. Hours later, he escaped from Kraft's apartment, and that was because Kraft had to go to work.
It wasn't just the assault was weird. I mean, he came to. Kraft was literally there saying, and Kraft actually said to him, "I got to go to work, but when I come back, you're gonna die." That's literally what happened here. The kid was in complete pain because of everything that happened to him and struggled to get out of the house. And I think Kraft had a roommate too that came in, and he's walking past him basically at the time. But yeah, so.
Yeah, exactly. Never trust somebody you just met that offers to put you up for free.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Tim, he's
What's
over in
up,
Town
Tom?
World.
Okay. So, when he escaped, somebody that he ran into called an ambulance for him because he saw that he was completely disheveled. He was obviously drugged out. He ended up having to get his stomach pumped.
He drugged the shit out of him.
Yeah, well,
he was lucky to
it was
wake up.
diazepam.
Yeah, he was lucky to wake up.
Mm-hmm. At the hospital, he informed police that Kraft had given him drugs and beaten him. He did not disclose to his parents or the police that he had been sexually assaulted. And a search of Kraft's apartment with the cooperation of his roommate did happen. However, as Fancher had confessed to police that he had taken the pills they offered to him voluntarily, the officers had conducted it without a warrant, and
yeah, that's the part
there were no charges filed because of those two things.
Well, the warrant was made, or they just went in there and started looking through things and going after everything. The police really fucked up with this one. They did.
Well, it was the 70s.
Well, they kept fucking up in Los Angeles, especially Los
yeah,
Angeles.
the diazepam. Thank you.
Especially when you go into the OJ trial and stuff like that. There's a lot of fuck ups by the police with that.
So, in 1971, Kraft found new employment as a forklift driver in Huntington Beach.
Mm-hmm.
In an effort to get further in his career prospects after being discharged from the military 2 years earlier, he decided to go to Long Beach University. Or Long Beach State. Wanting to be a teacher now.
He did get his credentials.
Well, he became acquainted with Jeff Graves, a fellow teaching student from Minnesota 4 years younger than him, with whom he actually began a relationship. So here we go. We're getting into the murders. What the fuck?
Oh, to smoke weed or day. Beth Smith, I was able to save
Hold on.
Sorry.
I'm sure there's more to it up here. So, here you go. We're going to get to some comments. Hope everyone's doing well. My arthritis is acting up for me. Shut off. Wait. On a damn fly. Get out of here. I'll kill you.
Oh, you're doing
text.
You're doing talk to text.
Is the best. Sorry, there's a fly on my phone. I was yelling at my speaker.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
And to finish off the story, because it's fantastic.
We have to go into this. I'm sorry.
Where did it go? I was able to save the fly and put him in a jar, or put him outside. I captured him in a jar.
That's freaking great. Okay.
Look at this guy go. I can't even find a boyfriend. Okay, so between 1971 and 1983, Kraft is believed to have killed a total of 67 victims. All of his suspected victims were males between the ages of 13 and 35, the majority of whom were in their late teens to mid-20s.
So, the crazy thing is at this time you have escalation going on. So you had Gacy, then you had Bundy, then you had Kraft.
They blocked it?
Okay.
Look.
What did they block?
The comment where she was cussing out the fly, I think.
Oh.
That's bullshit.
Anyway, you have escalation that's going on in the 70s. You had Bundy, then you had, Gacy, Bundy, then you had Kraft. Kraft was actually, I want to say Kraft had more victims than than Bundy, and then right after that, you had the Green River Killer, Ridgway, but that wasn't discovered until 2003, and then the most prolific serial killer of all time, all relates here to California, Samuel Little.
So Kraft was charged with and convicted of 16 out of the 67 homicides, all of which had occurred between 72 and 83. Many of his victims had been enlisted in the military. They were Marines.
Yeah, he had a thing for Marines.
And most of his victims' bodies bore evidence of high levels of both alcohol and tranquilizers in their system, indicating that they had been sedated before they were abused and killed.
Well, a lot of his killings actually took place in between Los Angeles and San Diego. And what he would do is he'd go to the bars when the weekends happened, and the Marines would be let off for leave and stuff like that. They'd go to the bars, he'd get them fucking wasted, give them pills, and then took them off and did what he wanted to them. And then left their bodies on the side of the road somewhere.
So, Doug says, it might have escalated over time, but Gacy had the best songs written about him.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the band?
There's a lot of them.
There's
a lot of bands.
That one band that did the Bundy song, The Wheels on the
Macabre?
Bus. Macabre. Doug, have you ever listened to Macabre? I freaking love Macabre. They're fun. They're a really fun band. I think Otis knows Macabre, too. They're fucking rad.
So no, Sam Little is not Son of Sam. That's David Berkowitz.
No, Sam Little is Samuel Little, man, he was caught, when was he caught? Only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
And they confirmed they confirmed 215 murders, and out of 250, but they suspect 250 murders. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
That's dicey. Yeah. What did Natalie say again?
Natalie said, "Wow, that's dicey to go after Marines."
They like to drink. That's what it was, and he knew.
Hey, Stormbringer.
Hi, Stormbringer.
What's up?
Oh yeah, Otis knows Macabre. Macabre's fucking rad. I fucking love Macabre. They're so fun, man. He knew what he was. He was in the military at the time. He knew that they would on leave. They just wanted to go out and drink and party.
Yeah. Well, he was in the Air Force and they were in the Marines, though.
Still, it's military. They all kind of act the same on leave.
Anyway, you did it again. Okay. So Kraft's victims were typically lured into his vehicle with the offer of a ride or alcohol. And in the vehicle, the victims would be supplied alcohol or drugs. Then they were bound, tortured, sexually abused before they were usually killed by either strangulation, asphyxiation, or bludgeoning. Although some victims had also ingested fatal doses of pharmaceuticals and alcohol, I should say. And then one victim was stabbed to death, and that was a complete rage killing. The victims would then be discarded, usually not through, not exclusively along the sides of the freeways, but a lot of them were. Photographic evidence found at Kraft's home indicates that several of his victims were driven to his house before they were murdered.
He had a means of picking up victims too, especially with the younger kids. I think he had a Mustang or a fastback of some sort, and he had his muscle car, and he'd go around and pick people up for rides and stuff like that too. Mm-hmm.
So, on October 5th, 1971, police found the nude body of a 30-year-old Long Beach resident named Wayne Joseph Duquette, discarded close to the Ortega Highway. Duquette was a bartender at a gay bar named The Stable in Sunset Beach, and was last seen alive on September 20th of that year. So his decomposition had actually erased all the signs of foul play on his body. And the cause of death was listed as acute alcohol poisoning due to the high blood alcohol level. Now, mind you, The Stable is actually the bar that was next to the bar he was a bartender at.
Yeah.
And so that's how they met. 15 months after the murder of Duquette, Kraft killed a 20-year-old Marine named Edward Daniel Moore. He was last seen alive leaving the barracks from Camp Pendleton on December 24th of 72. His body was found next to the 405 in Seal Beach, which, by the way, the distance of that,
huge.
That's big. That's like 4 or 5 hours.
Even Los Angeles in the 70s, that takes forever to drive.
Well, that's going from San Diego to Los Angeles.
Yeah. And
That's
the 405,
big.
the 405 starts. Where does it start? It starts when you get in the northernmost part of Los Angeles. That's where it starts. It's
I'm gonna
insane. It's
put
huge.
a quick pause on this. We're gonna play a commercial, guys.
Yep.
Which
Holy
one?
crap, we got a lot of people in here
Well,
tonight.
which one do you want to play? Let's play this one.
Let's play the Urban Exploration.
Hey,
Hi, we're
We're
back.
back.
Okay.
all right,
Hi, Randy.
good stuff. Hey, Randy, how you doing? The stud stables.
See, I'm telling you, it's the handlebar mustache. I'm keeping this. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna try to go out. I'm gonna do Wario
Oh,
with this
don't
shit.
do that. Please don't.
No,
For the love of God,
it's
don't.
happening now.
So, he was discovered 2 days later, so December 26th, on the side of the 405 in Seal Beach. The abrasions on his body indicated that he had been discarded from a moving vehicle. The autopsy revealed that he had been bound at the wrists and the ankles. Don't do it. Then beaten with a blunt instrument all over the face before being garroted. His body also bore evidence of numerous bite marks. And this next part actually did turn into kind of a calling card. It's really fucked up, and I don't mean to laugh.
He had his calling
He kept
card.
shoving socks up people's asses.
I'm sorry, when we were reading about this, learning about this, like that was his calling card. Like he just kept shoving things up people's, mostly socks.
Mostly socks. And he liked taking their shoes and socks away from them.
Yeah, he had a thing for that. Did you trim? I didn't trim my beard. I just did this part right here. That way you could have to do the handlebars.
Natalie, I will explain why that's a giant no. Later.
Why? You don't want?
No, my stupid ex had mutton chops.
Oh. Well. But he was not cool like I am.
No, he was not.
Steve the Kitty!
With him being a bartender, it'd be easy for him to put stuff in their drinks too. Absolutely.
He knew how to do things.
What's up?
Ah, Stephen Cat. So they don't.
Oh, you know. That's
Okay.
No.
No, it actually hit the nail on the
That's
head right
yeah.
there. It
Socks, gerbils, sheesh.
wherever he killed his victims at, yeah, because when we get to how he was caught, it's pretty brutal, and he was very nonchalant about it when how he got caught.
Oh yeah.
So and
So-
Ashley made a very good point there.
By the way, when I say that his body had a lot of bite marks, he even bit his dick.
Oh no, he escalated fast with the brutality of his killing.
Oh, yeah. So
It really sounds like he's just rape, murder, and then he's done. No. He gets fucking brutal.
6 weeks after the murder of Moore, the body of an unidentified male who was somewhere between 17 and 25 was discovered on February 6, 1973. It was found alongside the Terminal Island Freeway in Wilmington. This victim had been strangled with a ligature and had also had a sock placed in his rectum.
Tom suck ass.
Yeah, I already brought it up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, garroted. So basically, it's when you have either the cord or the string, and you start twisting behind it so it starts tightening.
Mm-hmm.
That's garroting.
Ligatures, stuff like that.
Yeah. Gonna put a...
It's actually a really. Gonna put a foot in your
Damn
ass and damn it.
Foot got stuck again.
That's probably what happened. Shit. I'm not making fun of the victim. I'm sorry. That's actually a really efficient way to strangle someone. Is not with your hands.
Garroting.
Because you would have to if you're gonna do it with your hands, you have to learn you have to get strength in your thumbs and break.
Well, okay, so the victim had been strangled with ligature and had also had a sock placed in his rectum. I like how just matter of fact that is. 2 months later, April 9th, the body of 17-year-old Kevin Clark Bailey was found beside a road in Huntington Beach. Bailey had been emasculated and sodomized prior to his murder.
And more than likely, he was emasculated while alive.
That's what they just said.
Oh, sorry.
That's literally what I just said out loud. He was emasculated prior to his murder.
Yeah, sorry. I already had the thought in my head because I already know where we're going with this.
By July 28th, 2 more victims had been, murdered. An unidentified youth whose body was dismembered, and it was found in Wilmington on April 22nd, and a 20-year-old named Ronnie Jean Weib, whose strangled body was discarded beside an on-ramp to the 405 on July 30th, 2 days after he disappeared. Welt marks on Weib's wrists and ankles suggested that he had been bound and suspended upside down before his murder.
There's one thing where they actually understand with
sock puppets.
Sock puppets, yeah, I saw that. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, don't say that loud. You have to understand something with Kraft. He was pretty much in berserk mode the entire time. And he escalated and kept escalating and kept escalating, and he kept getting worse and worse and worse.
So, Beth, I think Ashley hit the nail on the head with this one. More likely, it was for transportation purposes. Because, let's be real, when people die, they leak.
What he would do is, what his main MO was, get him drunk, get him back to his place, or to a secluded area, do whatever he wanted to do him, murder them, then take him to another area and dump him out of his car while it was moving.
Stephen P. Kitty Cat says, on my show, we refer to emasculation as sopranoization.
Ha.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah, we all are. Sorry.
So, Kraft is only known to have killed once more in 1973. The victim was 23-year-old bisexual art student Vincent Cruz Mestas, whose body was found in the San Bernardino Mountains on December 29th. As had been the case with several previous victims, one of the victim's socks had been shoved up into his rectum. Mestas' hands had been severed from his body and were never found. By November of 1974, a further 5 victims had been found beside or close to mass transportation in Southern California, 3 of which had been conclusively linked to the same killer. 2 of these victims were 20-year-old Malcolm Eugene Little and 19-year-old James Dale Reeves. They had each been found beside a freeway with foreign objects inserted in their bodies, whereas the body of the 3rd victim, which was a 18-year-old Marine Roger Edward Dickerson, bore evidence of bite marks, much like some of the earlier victims.
So, there's a thing that's happening here, too, with the cops. They consider them gay killings. And they consider them, the reason why they really didn't look too much into the killings until they actually caught him, and when we get to how they caught him, you're going to be surprised. They considered just Liz! We're changing her name real fast. They considered it gay killings, and they considered just an outcome of the lifestyle. You know, it was bondage that went too far.
And we have cookies, not pineapples.
Exactly.
This guy deserves a pineapple.
The police actually considered it literally like this was just what happens because they supposedly in the gay community they're into a lot of bondage and a lot of pain and stuff like that. So it just went too far. So they died, and random gay people are just throwing these people on the side of the road. It's pretty fucked up.
Natalie says, were they all left socks? I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever had that question answered. They say that if you were to do anything to remove the head is where people hold the most identity. Oh, yeah, if you remove the head.
Yeah. The head.
So,
that's where your teeth are. That's where they do the dental records, all that stuff. Hands for fingerprints.
January 3rd, 1975, Kraft abducted and murdered a 17-year-old high school student named John Laris. He was last seen boarding a bus in Long Beach. His strangled body was found the following day, discarded at Sunset Beach with a foreign object protruding from his anus. Which, by the way, I want to say that it was actually, where is it? There was actually...
He named one of them Harikari.
Yeah, and that one was never discovered.
Oh, wow.
That's Wilmington.
So the reason why we call them the scorecard killers, we're actually going through right now.
I'm looking at his scorecard right now.
He actually named them.
There we go.
Different names, and he kept the scorecard underneath his floor mats in his car.
So in the scorecard, John Williams Laris was actually called Skates. His body was found in the water at Sunset Beach. Cause of death was strangulation. A wooden surveyor's stake was found in his rectum.
Wow.
The day before his body was found, he was seen getting off of a bus near Ripples, carrying his skates. And Kraft went to Ripples quite often during that time. 2 different sets of footprints were found in the sand, indicating that he was carried from a car and dumped into the water.
It's insane, man.
So...
I mean, you think about it, like to just throw someone away like trash. This is a real socio-fucking bad. Right?
Oh, yeah. Should I go into the scorecard right now?
No, let's finish this. We can do that part 2 tomorrow night.
Okay.
We got to get through this.
So, let's see here. Drag marks along the beach close to his body had been indicated that there were 2 people that carried him. So the second person, by the way, was never found.
More than likely, it was his living room boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Again, this is reminiscent of BTK and his wife. Even though his wife, BTK's wife, got off, they didn't go after her. She fucking knew what BTK was doing.
So 2 weeks later, on January 17th, the body of a 21-year-old named Craig Jonitis was found discarded in the parking lot of the Golden Sails Hotel near PCH. What?
Natalie. Liz, did you say nipples?
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Did I? So, it was in Long Beach. It was near PCH and Loina's Drive in Long Beach. He had been strangled to death with a length of string, possibly his shoelace. The reason why that is important is actually when he was found, he was redressed with everything, including his shoes, except for his shoelaces. So he probably made a garrote out of the shoelaces. And so the investigation, by January of 75, a total of 14 victims whose body had been found discarded across 4 separate counties within the previous 3 years had been linked to the same killer. All the victims had been white males with similar physical characteristics. On January 24th, homicide investigators from several jurisdictions in Southern California convened in Orange County to discuss the progress on the hunt for this unknown killer. An FBI profile of the killer was read to investigators, describing the individual as methodical, organized, and it is a lust killing. These are lust killings.
Yeah.
Above average intelligence, who exhibits an indifference to the interests and welfare of society. Some investigators believe the murders to be the work of more than one individual, one or more of whom had military background. 2 victims' bodies had tissue paper residue in their noses, conforming to a known military procedure to prevent bodies from purging after death. The placing of socks inside of the rectums was also theorized to be a method used by the killer to prevent purging, as the body was driven to disposal locations. At this stage, investigators had no solid suspects, though. Murder of Keith Crotwell. On the evening of March 29th, 1975, Kraft lured 2 young men, Keith Crotwell and Kent May, from a Long Beach parking lot to his Ford Mustang.
This is where he escalated. He was escalating with brutality was one thing, but this is where he actually started kind of getting a little sloppy.
He supplied them with beer and Valium. and drove them in a bunch of, like, random, directionless ways over to his house in Belmont Shores. He later recalled feeling catatonic as a result of the Valium and alcohol he had ingested before he passed out. So, apparently he was partaking as well.
Mm-hmm.
In the parking lot where Crotwell and May had last been seen, two friends had observed a very distinctive black and white Mustang rapidly enter and draw to a halt before the driver leaned across the open passenger door and pushed the unconscious but otherwise unharmed May from the rear seat onto the pavement. The driver then sped away from the scene. As he did so, the friends noted Crotwell slumped against the unknown driver's shoulder. On May 8th, Crotwell's skull was found in a jetty close to the Long Beach Marina. The remainder of his body was found 6 months later.
Yeah, so
Upon hearing the news, the two friends of Crotwell and May suspected the murderer to have been a patron of the Belmont Shore gay bar. They scoured their neighborhood for the distinctive Mustang that they had observed. Upon locating the vehicle less than 1 mile from their house, they noted that the license plate number, or they noted the license plate number and related to the police. The registration was traced to Kraft. Now, this is where he started getting really sloppy.
He started getting comfortable as hell because he was getting away with it for so long.
The sock up the ass is considered lustful.
Yes.
It was a very sexy sock.
It was a very sexy sock. Steve, you gotta go to Steve's comment.
Only in California.
Only in California.
Yay, California!
Yay!
Maybe it was a nylon sock. Oh gosh, or fishnet.
Or fishnet.
From Beverly Hills.
You know how morbid all of us are. Dear God, to actually go into this. Like,
From the red light district?
Is there a red light district in Los Angeles?
No, there's not.
There should be.
Oh. Maybe it had to do with those sexy sock garters. Oh, okay. So, the interrogation and release. Long Beach police questioned Kraft about Crotwell's abduction and murder on May 19th of 75. Initially, he denied ever meeting him or May. And then the police were pretty skeptical about that denial. And they asked him to come to the station for more questioning. There he admitted that on or around March 29th, he had encountered the two young men in a Long Beach parking lot and had persuaded them to drink with him and take some Valium. He claimed to have returned May to the parking lot and then had driven with Crotwell to a side road close to the El Toro off-ramp, where his car subsequently became embedded upon an embankment. He claimed to have walked alone to a gas station to call a tow truck while Crotwell remained with his car. Upon returning to his vehicle, he had disappeared. Kraft's roommate was able to verify to detectives that Kraft had phoned him on the date of Crotwell's disappearance, claiming his vehicle was stuck on an embankment. Detectives remained unconvinced with Kraft's overall version of the events. Now, this is where it starts lending to the idea that his roommate was involved in these murders.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office dismissed the detective's request, citing that the coroner's conclusion from the autopsy of the remains, because it was just the skull at that point, suggested that he had died of an accidental drowning. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. How the fuck do you figure that out when there's no lungs? How do you figure out that somebody died from a drowning when there's no lungs to judge from?
But you do have sharks in Long Beach and stuff like that.
They don't give... Then they would have said shark attack.
Look, this is the whole point.
And no, we have...
This is the whole...
Okay, some sharks.
This is the whole idea of... They look at this as a gay killing. They're like, this is the lifestyle, we're not going to worry with it. Who cares? This is the 70s and like early 80s. It was like, it was a messed up time in with this stuff. They did not look into killings and stuff like that.
So, perhaps because Kraft had been questioned as a suspect in Crotwell's murder, and because of the additional turmoil in his personal life that summer, Kraft is not known to have killed again until December 31st, when he abducted a 22-year-old named Mark Hall from San Juan Capistrano. In this murder, later described by prosecution as the worst of all of his known murders.
Dufresne.
Stop.
Dufresne.
Stop.
San Juan Capistrano.
That's not at all what they said in there.
What did they say? Shawshank Redemption?
No.
Wasn't San Juan Capistrano?
Not at all.
What did they say?
It's in Mexico, not in California.
San Juantaneo. It was San Juantaneo. And
There's no San. It's a Z.
I don't know.
Anyway, guys.
Sorry, I love Shawshank. I love Shawshank Redemption. It was one of my favorite movies
In
of all
this
time.
murder, which was later described by prosecutors as the worst of all of his known murders, the man was driven to a remote canyon where he was bound to a tree. The autopsy report lists that the cause of death was asphyxiation caused by leaves and
Dirt.
foliage. Why are you correcting me?
No,
Found
it was,
lodge in his trachea.
it was leaves, dirt, foliage, everything on the ground,
Yeah.
and it was right after he was done.
Well, hold on.
This is
Hold
where we're getting
on. The autopsy also revealed that Hall had been sodomized and emasculated, which it was actually he was emasculated and then sodomized because hold on. Guys, this is going to happen.
Trigger warning. Because this is fucked up.
So, basically, he cut off his dick and shoved it up his ass while he was still alive.
Isn't this the one where they cut off the eyelid?
Additionally,
too?
his chest, scrotum, nose, and cheeks had been burned with a automobile cigarette lighter. His eyes being destroyed by the same object. Other injuries noted in the autopsy included the several incisions across his legs, which had been inflicted with a broken bottle. They also deduced that Hall had been alive through all of it until he passed out from the pain.
Was this the one where they cut
No.
off? Okay.
No. He was the one that he burnt his eyelids off.
They, what I was listening to earlier, like on I think it was Sarah Gerber's podcast, but it was constant. He would basically keep lighting the cigarette lighter, going over to him, and it was all over his body, all over. Like he was just constantly burning this one.
So, his relationship with Jeff Seelig, and this I think is going to be where we end up. We will do this. Actually,
Oh, those those fucking assholes, Beast and
Beast
Jugs.
and Jugs might continue, or we might just shove them into a closet. I don't know.
We'll figure it
Depends.
out.
But anyway, by 1976, Kraft had ended his relationship with Graves. Shortly thereafter, he began a relationship with a 19-year-old apprentice baker named Jeff Seelig, and the couple moved to Laguna Hills. Although neither man was inclined towards monogamy, the couple considered their relationship permanent. Seelig later informed investigators that he and Kraft had regularly picked up and propositioned hitchhikers who, if willing, would accompany them to their apartment for a threesome. However, Seelig was adamant that Kraft had never been violent towards him and that he had never seen him display any violent tendencies.
They had a very open relationship, but at the same time, that is very skeptical because it's like, okay, you guys have an open relationship. You drove out in the middle of nowhere to pick him up when you said your car is broken down, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, you guys are like, well, what happened here? Oh, I just picked him up, and the kid went on, and then your live-in boyfriend at the time corroborated the story. Kraft never had a relationship with Graves. Guy wasn't too keen on burying his dead.
Okay, there's something wrong with our mouse right now. Why are we doing all this shoving stuff?
Yeah, there's a lot of shoving.
Dog and shark, Scooby-Doo, Jabberjaw crossover.
Yep.
Stop poking me.
I scratched my arm. I'm sorry. So, all right, this is where we're gonna.
Not done yet.
Oh, this is not
Did
done
not
yet.
finish that.
Sorry.
So, Kraft's relationship with Seelig was believed to be a contributory factor in the sudden lull of murders that he is known to have committed.
He wanted.
He's not known to have committed any murders again until December of 76. The body of 19-year-old Paul Joseph Fuchs has never been found. Nonetheless, Fuchs is named clearly on his scorecard.
Now, the one thing he wanted, and it didn't specify in our notes here, with his past boyfriend, he wanted a stable relationship. Even though they agreed to have an open relationship, he deep down inside wanted a stable relationship. He wanted to have, he wanted to move on to marriage and everything else. Now, he got that with the next one, so that stopped him from killing a lot of stuff because there wasn't the stress there anymore. What starts him back up again, he started having stress again in his relationship. Every time he had stress, he had to go out and kill.
Well, you know what? We have 4 minutes. Let me go into this guy real fast. A little bit. So, well, no, I won't.
Let's go and stop here. We'll go ahead.
If you guys didn't know this, my maiden name is Hughes. This actually plays into one of the murders here because it literally took place where I lived. I mean, this was before I was born, but this literally took place right where I lived, and my last name is Hughes, and so was the victims.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna end a couple minutes early.
You want to go through some comments real fast?
But all right, so
CBD Scooby-Doo snacks.
yes,
They do exist.
I had them for our boxer. That's a sore subject still.
Oh, Ashley
Jinky Steve, we have a mystery to solve.
I did see a comment earlier from Ashley saying technology nowadays have actually stifled serial killers, basically.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
The reason why I think that we don't hear about them as much, and I'm not just saying I think this, it's known, is that they don't want to sensationalize them anymore. Because people get this, like...
Because...
They start following... It's the whole thing, like, when they...
Even to this date...
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead. Go.
When they sensationalized Bundy, when they sensationalized the Manson family, people... Like, the loonies would come out, and they wanted to be part of it.
Like us, we have a show to run, so we need content. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Anyway...
no, but at the same time, it's... Even still to this day,
We gotta go.
the FBI still states there's about 30 to 40 serial killers active in the
Yeah.
United States. And right now in our hometown,
There's
or my hometown,
definitely
there
one.
is at least one or two. Because bodies keep popping up.
And in a similar manner to the scorecard killer, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you, Natalie.
Bye, Natalie.
Thank you, Kenny. Actually, this lovely woman right here made them.
Yes. Made what?
The commercials.
Yes. Natalie makes everything awesome. Like, I try video editing, and it looks nasty. Then Natalie's like, hey, Frank, look what I can do. I'm like, this is amazing.
Thank you so much, Kisa.
Yeah.
Thank you,
guys.
Beth. Aw.
Thank you,
I'm glad.
Beth.
Thank you, Calvin.
Calvin, you're awesome. Calvin makes me laugh. He tags me in some funny stuff throughout the days. It's awesome. I laugh.
Now we
everywhere.
sensationalize spree killers instead. Yeah, kind of.
We do.
Have a wonderful night, Stormbringer.
Bye, Stormbringer.
Yeah, I think a lot get caught much sooner now. Definitely.
They do.
Why can't they just retire? Actually, the original Night Stalker did.
The original Night Stalker was never caught.
Yeah, he was.
Well, no.
Yes,
I'm
he
thinking
was.
I'm thinking Zodiac. I'm sorry. Didn't they consider him a Night Stalker too?
No.
No, you're right. You're right.
Joseph D'Angelo?
They caught him
A few years ago.
only a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. He did retire because he
Thank you.
sounds fucked up because he couldn't
Thank
get it up
you.
anymore.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
You guys are all awesome. All right, guys.
We're out.
Have a wonderful
Peace
night.
and jugs. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Possibly. I don't know what's going
Who
on
knows?
with them. Those guys are assholes. What's that?
That one. Play that one.
I was going to do...
Do what I made. I'm kidding. All right,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
We're out. Bye.
This is Mr. Applewhite speaking. Do not attempt to adjust your device. There is nothing wrong with it. I am here to deliver a message. Join Psycho Bunny Death Cult in our anti-censorship campaign. Free your mind. Free your head.